In a village called Ndala, there was a legend about a magical drum. This drum was said to bring great prosperity to whoever owned it. The people of Ndala lived simple lives, farming, hunting, and trading with nearby villages. They believed in hard work and shared their wealth with each other. But everything changed when the magical drum appeared. One day, an old man arrived in Ndala. He carried a large drum on his back. The drum was beautifully decorated with carvings of animals and plants. The old man looked tired, but his eyes sparkled with wisdom. The villagers gathered around him, curious about the drum. The old man said, "I have traveled far and wide. This drum has been passed down through many generations. It has the power to bring prosperity to your village, but it must be used wisely." The villagers were amazed. They had heard stories of such magical items but had never seen one. They asked the old man to stay and teach them how to use the drum. The old man agreed and stayed in Ndala. He showed the villagers how to play the drum. When they played it, the sound was unlike anything they had ever heard. It was deep and resonant, and it seemed to fill the air with a sense of hope and joy. Soon after they started playing the drum, strange things began to happen. The crops grew faster and healthier than ever before. The rivers were full of fishes. The hunters found plenty of game in the forest. The village prospered, and everyone was happy. The old man warned them, "Remember, the drum brings prosperity, but it must be used for the good of all. Greed will bring misfortune." In Ndala, there was a chief named Kofi. He was a strong leader, but he had a weakness for wealth and power. When he saw the prosperity the drum brought, he wanted it all for himself. He believed that as the chief, he deserved more than the others. Kofi went to the old man and said, "I want to keep the drum in my house. I will play it for the village, but it should belong to me." The old man shook his head. "The drum is for everyone. It must stay in the village square where all can see and use it." But Kofi did not listen. One night he stole the drum and hid it in his house. He thought that by keeping it close, he would become the richest and most powerful man in the land. At first, things seemed to go well for Kofi. His crops were the best in the village, and he caught more fish and game than anyone else. But soon the other villagers noticed that their fortunes were changing. The crops in the fields began to wither, the rivers were less abundant, and the animals in the forest grew scarce. The villagers went to the old man for answers. He told them, "The drum's magic is meant to be shared. If one person hoards it, the magic will turn against them and the village." The villagers were angry with Kofi. They demanded that he return the drum, but Kofi refused. He believed that the old man was lying and that the drum's magic would protect him. As time passed, Kofi's greed grew. He kept the drum hidden and played it only for himself. But the more he played, the more things went wrong. His crops began to fail, and his animals fell sick. His house, once the grandest in the village, started to crumble. The villagers suffered too. They had no food and their water sources dried up. They blamed Kofi for their misfortune and begged him to return the drum. But Kofi was too proud and too greedy to admit his mistake. One night, a terrible storm hit Ndala. Lightning struck Kofi's house, setting it on fire. The villagers rushed to help, but the flames were too strong. As the house burned, they heard the sound of the drum, but it was no longer a sound of joy and hope. It was a mournful, haunting wail that echoed through the night. When the storm passed, Kofi's house was nothing but ashes. The villagers searched the ruins and found the drum, charred and broken. The old man looked at the remains of the drum and sighed and said, "The magic is gone. Greed has destroyed it." The villagers were sad, but they understood the lesson. They worked together to rebuild their village, helping each other as they had before. They learned that true prosperity came from working together and sharing their blessings. Kofi, humbled and broken, apologized to the villagers. He realized too late that his greed had brought suffering to everyone. The villagers forgave him, but he was no longer their chief. He lived the rest of his life in service to the village, trying to make amends for his mistakes. The story of the magical drum and the greedy chief was passed down through generations in Ndala. It became a reminder that prosperity comes from unity and generosity, not from hoarding and greed. The villagers of Indala never forgot the old man's words and lived in harmony, sharing their blessings with each other and respecting the magic of the world around them. And so, the legend of the magical drum lived on, teaching future generations the importance of using their gifts wisely and for the good of all. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell to be the first to know when I post a new interesting moral story. Thanks for watching.